What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and in today's video we're throwing it back 3 years for the release of Lil Uzi Vert's album Eternal Atake. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the interesting merch surrounding the actual release, so while you're here you might as well drop a like and subscribe. Now, I've been rocking with Uzi all the way back since I first saw him when Rolling Loud's original guys Dope Entertainment brought him to Orlando, as you guys can see, all the way back in 2016. And the hype for Eternal Atake was so big that it actually inspired your boy to hop on YouTube 5 years ago and make one of my first videos. And looking back at that video today, it's kind of funny to hear myself butcher the hell out of the pronunciation of Eternal Atake because nobody knew when it was dropping or how the hell to pronounce it. And I thought, given how Uzi has had several different eras and aesthetics and has always had some crazy fits on throughout the years, it would be interesting to see what his actual merch looked like. And that now leads us to Lil Uzi Vert's website all the way back in March 2020 for the release of Eternal Atake. And the first thing that stands out to me about this actual merch collection is how damn affordable it is. Are you guys seeing this? $25? I know it was 2020 and the stimmy bucks were hitting, COVID was going crazy, but damn, what a great value. Shout out to Uzi one time for real, because artists definitely be taxing, as you guys can see. Now, if you're like me and you didn't get your hands on this 3 years ago, I was curious how they were holding up on the resale market, and as you can see, the most recent sale for a size XL went for $71. Now, I do want to point out that I also did see this merch on Uzi's website that is available at this moment, however, you might not find it in your size. Personally, this black tee right here is my favorite actual piece from this collection, and given that current resale prices are over 5 times the initial retail cost, I'd say that the price reflects the interest in the tee as well. And to be honest with you, for an artist as huge as Uzi is, I'm kind of expecting to see a large variety of merch, so let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of it here together. Now, as we've seen in several Travis Scott merch drops, we've got a dope rolling tray, which I think is great for all of my stoners out there, or for people that just want a great memorabilia piece. Now, speaking of the album, go ahead and let me know in the comments as well what your favorite song is and what you think of it. If you can't remember, there was a 3-year gap between Love is Rage 2 and Eternal Atake, so nobody knew just quite what to expect when it came to the aesthetic and the sound. Now, personally, I really dig this Eternal Atake tee right here, which features some of the nicknames of Uzi, such as Baby Pluto and Renji. Now, for these next couple of pieces, we're introduced to some dope hoodies for some great prices. If you can't tell, I'm super impressed again with the overall price of this collection, and the fact that these shits are available for only $63, given that most hoodies nowadays are double, if not even more, is such a steal. You can look back on any of my most recent artist merch videos and you'll see that a lot of these pieces for similar artists go for a lot more money. Now, this piece right here is interesting. It says Eternal Atake changed my life, and I know a lot of Uzi fans will probably relate. However, it's not my favorite album of his. And if you're like me, you're still holding out hope that one day we will finally get that official Carti and Uzi collab tape. Now, I did do my research for this drop, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find a whole lot of information regarding shipping or shipping times, but in this case I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that had these pieces taken 10 years to ship like most other artists, cough cough Travis and this Utopia drop, I think I definitely would have seen comments on forums and Twitter all about it, and of course I didn't really see any. Now, these next couple of pieces are a little bit low effort, but I think it's interesting that these Uzi Smile tees are $30 as opposed to $25 for the Eternal Atake ones, and they're actually available on Uzi's website 3 years later today. And if you were actually one of the ones to pick up any of the pieces from this collaboration, I'd love for you to let us know in the comments. I wasn't able to find out a whole lot about the quality, but given how cheap these retail pieces are, I wouldn't expect anything crazy. Now, something interesting about these two pieces we're looking at right here, though, that is really cool is the fact that these are actually printed on Champion blanks, if you can't tell from the Champion logo there. So I think that that's cool that you're at least getting something different, and the price reflects that it is a little bit more expensive. And personally, I actually dig that Eternal Atake eye logo. Now, overall, the aesthetic for this album was kind of an introduction to a new Uzi sound, and although I did not pick up the vinyl for it, I think it's pretty dope that they had this vinyl for the single Over Your Head, a future featuring Uzi, given that the two would later go on to do an album and, of course, have a lot of work together. And to wrap up the rest of this Eternal Atake merch, we've got these two pieces right here, and personally I really dig this neon green one. I think the graphic of Uzi on it is pretty raw and it fits the overall aesthetic. Now with that being said, I do want to mention I feel a little bit underwhelmed with the overall Eternal Atake collection, and let me know how you feel about it. I just feel like given how big Uzi is and how interesting and eclectic his style has been throughout his entire career, I was kind of expecting something more creative, or at least some accessories or just something up Uzi's alley. And while I was doing my research for this video, I came across this thread on Reddit where people were talking about the Eternal Atake merch from 4 years ago. And I wanted to include some of the comments so you could see just how people felt about it 4 years ago. There are some comments saying that it's inspired by Kanye, and someone even mentions it's the same designer. However, I'm not really seeing the connection, so if you do, let me know in the comments because, I don't know, I think like they're tripping. And even 3 years ago, given how hyped this album was, people were still calling it mid, so it's kind of surprising. Now with that being said, Uzi is still one of my favorite artists to this day, and it's been really interesting seeing him grow into the rock star he is today. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe. Thank you so much for cooking with the kitchen. It's lit. Straight up. And peace, guys.